I can use the swan next here as well. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Graham Walker. He's a moderator over at CEO.ca. He gets to deal with investors and complaints and biases and all the other good shenanigans.
The world's biggest babysitter, really.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good term for it, actually. And I'm really excited that he's moderating now the next session this afternoon. First presentation, first up is Delta Resources. So Frank Candido, really looking forward to hearing from you. It's one of the hotter discovery stories of the year. And really looking forward to that update because you were here in May. And looking forward to an update. Frank, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. I love being the next presentation after a bullish gold report, because guess what metal we're in?
Lithium.
Yeah, exactly.
Uranium. Perfect.
We're good? Good to go? Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Candido. I'm the chairman of Delta Resources. When I was here in May, we were one of the have-nots, and I'm happy to report that we're one of the haves today. We closed a bought deal financing shortly after the Goldmesse conference for $10 million, and we still have $7 million in the bank, so that's the good news. Management is always important. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but just to let you know that we're led by a top geologist, Andre Tessier, who's our president and CEO. And on the bottom row is the board of directors, and they're all invested in the company. In fact, all three, including myself, invested, and Andre invested in the bought deal at 45 cents. Kevin Heathers had a distinguished career. He put, I think, $200,000. Sarah's family runs a drilling supply company, which they sold to a European company recently and did very well and invested. And Justin Reed is the president of Troilus Gold that's got 13 million ounces in Quebec. And he's been an investment banker, a sell-side analyst, and also invested both personally and through his company Troilus in Delta. So, listen, I don't want to talk about how crappy the market is. That's all anyone talks about. To me, I see it as a tremendous buying opportunity when everybody's so negative. And I'm calling this the bottom. So you heard it here, the next gold mess. We'll see if I was right or not. So if you look at our chart, we made a discovery in October 2022. That's a year ago. And in Thunder Bay, Ontario. And then from PDAC, where we started showing core to a bunch of technical people, all of a sudden interest started to grow and we were trading millions upon millions of shares a day. And we hit a high of 60 cents. And I think we would have continued to go higher, except we announced the bought deal financing, which kind of capped our stock. And we closed it at 45 cents for $10 million. And almost the day after, our stock went straight down. So that's type of market we're in. I think the window for financing was so small, and I'm going to use the word lucky. I think we were lucky that we managed to get that money in that short window as we did. But you know, we do have a serious value proposition going forward. So we still have $7 million in the bank, and we're in the midst of planning our next drill campaign, which should start in January. But I'll get to that in a second. We have two projects, but we're only going to talk about Delta 1, which is in Thunder Bay. In real estate, we talk about location, 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 and our location couldn't be better if you tried. Thunder Bay is 50 kilometers west of us. It's a major port city, as you can see. Our property is 107 square kilometers. But, you know, as importantly, if you look at it, this is the Trans-Canada Highway and it runs right over our property. So it's not just road access, it's a major highway access. And then if things couldn't get better, they do. We have two electrical lines that run just north of our property, and the Ontario government is in the midst of planning a high voltage line right now to be built. So that gives us plenty of power. Our exploration was really all done here at Eureka, but we have 107 square kilometers, 19 kilometers of strike, and we've outlined gold over 5 kilometers so far. This is our property facing north. Again, no environmental potential issues. There are no lakes, there are no rivers. And if you can see, the trees have all been cut and logged. This is facing west. You can see the Trans-Canada Highway right over here. And then facing east, you know, things keep getting better because we also have a telecommunications tower, which means that our team on the ground has access to mobility and to data. So we're on the Shabandawan Greenstone Belt. It's a greenstone belt like others in the Canadian Shield. There's gold endowment along the belt, as you can see. And I guess the most notable would be Moss Lake over here with 6 million ounces of gold on the same structure. We have 19 kilometers of strike where we are. This is a geological map, and the red just outlines where we've outlined gold so far. This is where we've essentially been drilling. And just to be clear, since our discovery hole of October, which was a year ago, we've drilled 20,000 meters in total. So we're really just scratching the surface, but already a very interesting picture is developing. Firstly, we've outlined gold over 1.8 kilometers so far. The deepest we've drilled is about 250 meters vertical depth, and it's open to depth, open to the east, and definitely open to the west. So we've got a lot that we can build on here. Here's a grade shell using a 0.3 cutoff. We already see what's developing as a big open pit mine. The question is, how big can this thing get? And we have high expectations that it could get very big. And as I mentioned before, the deepest we drilled was 250 meters so far, but we have plans to go deeper, and we certainly have plans to go east and to go west, but I'll get to that in a second. For any geos out there, this is just a different viewpoint of the grade shell, but what I will do is I'll skip to this. So before I used a 0.3, now I'm going to use a 0.75 grade shell to demonstrate, and then I'll take it a step further and I'll use 1 gram as the cutoff grade. So essentially what we see happening is we have gold in every single drill hole. It looks like we've got this big open pit potential, somewhere in the 1.2 to 1.7 gram average grade. But then we get these high-grade gold shoots, and typical in these type of deposits, we think these gold shoots will repeat themselves both to the east and to the west. The question is, can we find them? And I'll explain to you why we think we can. So here's some results. I don't know if you can see that, but hole 18 was the discovery hole, which was 5.92 grams over 31 meters. That sort of got people's attention. But just as other examples, hole 30 over here, 2.06 grams over 65.8 meters. Hole 60 over here, oh, I just wrote over it, sorry, 2.16 grams over 97 meters. And then other things that happen is we get VG quite a lot. And sometimes we get some really nice nuggets, like over here in hole 38, we got 1.6 kilograms over a meter. And then a few meters below it, we got almost 700 grams over a meter. And then that hole was mineralized even further at depth. So it's a stock work. This is an example of one of our holes, hole 30, that got 2.06 grams over 65 meters. Wherever we see quartz veining, such as here, here, we always get mineralization. What really gets our geologists very excited is what you see here. You get cross-cutting of veins, such as this, like that, and usually cross-cutting of veins like that means that you've got a very long-lived old system, and for us, it's a leading indicator that we're sitting on something, that has great potential. This is just some examples of VG in our core. I'm going to skip through these very quickly. This was the hole where we got the 1.6 kilograms. So what's the plan? So we have $7 million in the bank, and the way we're going to play this is we're going to play it according to the market. So we have to assume that we're going to be in a similar market in Q1, although I'm very bullish. I think gold has the potential to break out now in the next, maybe even in the next few weeks. And so, but we'll play it according to what happens, not only with the price of gold, but what happens in the junior market. Because cash is king and we need to preserve cash while we continue to advance the project. So for the first time, we've been able to take a step back. We had a technical meeting in Montreal 3 weeks ago. In October, our team consisted of Andre, our president, as our chief geologist. But since then, we've added 2 full-time geologists. And also, with the help of Troilus, who are both Justin as our director and Troilus invested in our company, we've had the luxury of actually borrowing some of their technical people as well. And we've taken a step back and we've gone back and relogged all the core. All of our results are out. The 20,000 meters are out publicly. We've done a 3D survey of the 5 kilometers of strike that I spoke to you about, of which we've outlined 1.8 with drilling. We've done a televiewer where we've probed 14 of the drill holes. Those results are pending and we will announce those to the market. We expect to have those maybe as early as this week or early next week. And then what are we going to do? So the idea going next is this. As I suggested to you, the deepest we drilled was 250 meters. We have every reason to believe that not only does it continue at depth, and in a pit your depth would be about 300 meters cut off, but we expect that this extends further. But not only that, we actually believe, given that some of the mineralization at the bottom of a few of our holes actually increased, that the grade could get bigger. So we'll drill a couple of holes down the middle of this to be announced. If it's 2 or 3 holes, probably down to 450 meters, something like that. And then to the east over here, what we had done here is we did these step outs of 100 and 300 meters. And we're in the halo of mineralization. So we know it's there and we know it's on our property now. So what we're now going to do is we're going to have a targeted approach. And we seem to have a really nice signature for a target to happen, what has happened over in this area here, right to the east over here. We'll announce those plans as to where we're going to drill, why we're going to drill to the east, and again, the same thing to the west, a targeted approach where we're chasing the same thing to the west. It'll likely be 5,000 to 10,000 meters. I think our cost is $250 all in per meter where we are in Thunder Bay. And our drillers, actually, the drilling company happens to be our largest private investor. So we always have a drill available. And so let's just assume that we drill 10,000 meters. That's $2.5 million coming out of that program, depending on the visuals. So firstly, when we see quartz veining, we get excited. When we see cross-cutting of the quartz veining, we get very excited. When we see visible gold, which we seem to see often, we get equally as excited. So we will announce visuals to the market, but now the lead time on getting results is under 2 months, so things have improved. We should start getting holes back, within 6 weeks, let's say. If the results are good and the market changes and things improve, we'll definitely get more aggressive. If the market does not improve, we'll wait for all those results to come, and then we'll announce the next drill campaign accordingly, and also based on the fact that, we want to preserve cash as much as possible, given the market conditions. So, with Delta, we're currently trading at 10 cents. We did the bought deal 6 months ago at 45 cents. Our market cap is $10 million Canadian. We have $7 million in the bank cash. We already have a picture developing of a multi-million ounce deposit starting right at surface down to 250 meters. We have the cash, we have the team, we have the property, we have the potential for much expansion to both the east and west and at depth. And I think we have all the ingredients if the market actually improves to be one of those stocks that if you were to take a position in now, you should be a happy person the next time you see me. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Do we have any quick questions? Any quick questions? No? Yeah, my question was going to be about how you manage dealing with preserving cash in a market like this and trying to keep the project moving forward, which you've basically already answered really through your last portion there. So you took my question.
Well, I hope I answered it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about strategy at this point, but, we're obviously very bullish about our property, but I'm equally as bullish about the market. I mean, when I bump into everybody and the entire conversation starts immediately with how bad the market is, to me, that's a leading indicator that it's time to buy.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.